I will now give the floor to the Honorable Prem Singh to ask his question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to ask question 53 of 2015, standing in my name, and this question is directed to the Honorable Minister for Defense and National Security. What is the duration of prohibition from entering the country imposed on foreign passport holders?
Thank you. Honorable Minister for Defense, National Security and Immigration.
Honorable Speaker, the duration for prohibition differs according to the circumstances surrounding the case. It goes from 12 months or indefinite period, as stipulated under Immigration Act of 2003. For example, for foreigners who are overstayed for more than 7 days, they are given a notice of departure which prohibits them for entering Fiji for 1 year. And for foreigners who have been removed from the country under removal order and detention warrant for breaches under Immigration Act 2003 are prohibited from re-entering Fiji for indefinite period.
Thank you. Supplementary question.
Why are former Fiji citizens and current Australian passport holders, Professor Bridgelal and Dr. Padmalal, banned from entering Fiji since November 2009 and January 2010, respectively?
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, to respond to the question, Fiji is a sovereign state, and the authority to prohibit a foreigner to enter or re-enter the country rests with the state. For this particular person, he had been very vocal and opposed to moves towards democracy after the events of 2006. His actions were viewed by the government of the day as prejudicial to the peace, defense, public safety, public order, security of the government of Fiji. And by then, the Minister of Defense decision was for him to prohibit, he was given a prohibited immigrants status indefinitely. We had reviewed the decision when I came into office, and after studying the case, I concur with the decision being made by the former Minister of Defense.
Thank you. Supplementary question, Honorable Rindalo.
Madam Speaker, supplementary, I'm almost reluctant, having heard that Dr. Bridgelal and Padmalal, two outstanding former Fiji nationals. But can I also ask the Minister to look into the case of Dr. John Cameron, who I think falls under certain similar circumstances, and who was one of the lawyers who worked very hard and tirelessly for the Prime Minister who was deposed in 1987.
Point of order.
In section 44(4), it says a question must not contain the name of persons. I'm just wondering whether this applies in this particular situation, because we are having individuals named as part of these questions. The Minister has already answered it, but I think it is in contravention of that particular specific standing order.
Thank you for the point of order.
Madam Speaker,
Let me rule on that point of order. You are quite right. Any question or supplementary questions that is put in the House must comply with the rules that we have in the standing order. And the rules clearly state that names should not be mentioned in the question, both the question and supplementary question, and therefore I am not allowing the supplementary question asked by the Honorable Rindalo to be answered.
something about selective reading of things in this House, Madam Speaker. It doesn't say that you cannot name persons full stop unless it's strictly necessary. We are referring to particular cases. It's strictly necessary to name these persons. All outstanding individuals, may I add, Madam Speaker?
Yes.
Thank you. In the first supplementary question, I did allow the two names to be asked merely because it did come in the Business Committee. Unfortunately, allowing those two names has expanded to more names are coming in, and this is why I will have to do a ruling that no names of any person to be raised in this supplementary question. Supplementary question, Mr. Nawaikulu.
The Honourable Minister has explained as a reason that certain individual, I'm not naming him, vocal in opposing democracy. Vocal in opposing democracy. Yeah, vocal, yeah, Madam, vocal in opposing democracy. And we have the Constitution that protects fundamental right to speech. That being the case, will he now allow that individual to come back?
Thank you.
That being the case, that the Constitution protects fundamental right to free speech, can he allow that individual to come back?
Thank you. Although the standing orders say that you have freedom of speech, but the freedom of speech comes with a responsibility. And for this particular issue, it is more legal issue, and we will not allow that to be answered in this House.